Mist Fang asked, would beta cards be good to focus on?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Do
Gank
not.
says no, and I say they are a wonderful thing to sell right now.
Yes, I would say sell your beta cards if you have any, and use that to buy the new Chaos Legion cards that are coming out, the reward cards that are out already. The beta cards are going to only be good for half of the battles going forward. There's going to be 2 different leagues. There's going to be the Wild League, which is you can use any cards that were ever created, and that will be the only place where beta cards are going to be able to use in ranked games. And then there's going to be the Modern League, and that's going to basically be from Untamed forward, meaning that everything before Untamed, which is beta, alpha, and some of the promo cards and some of the reward cards are not going to be able to be used in the Modern League. And so that's going to detract from their value right away. On top of that, you really don't want to be focused on cards looking backwards anyway, because the way this game is set up is that supply is constantly going down as people combine their cards. So, and as more people come to the game, demand is always going up. And so unless you're talking about buying a card max level right now, you have no idea how much that card is going to cost you to continue to increase its levels. And ultimately, your plan for this game should be to be getting your cards to max levels. And so with that in mind, you want to focus on the cards that are coming out now, because those are the cards that when you need to level up are going to be in bigger supply and thus cheaper for you to buy with your or trade for your assets one way or another.
I would say, I do want to add to that. I do think there is some intrinsic value to having these NFTs. Some of the beta NFTs. It's one of the reasons why I hold some alphas. But I agree 1,000%. And I had like 85% of my collection was alpha cards. I mean beta cards, excuse me, for the longest time. And only now is it now dwindling to about 50%.
All right.
And I'm even trying to push it even lower.
So here's my to that extent. This is what I have to say about that. Is that with beta cards specifically, except for the neutral cards, which neutral cards didn't exist in alpha, and same with legendary summoners. Other than those, every other card in beta is not even the first print of that card. Mm-hmm. So any intrinsic value that could be had by those cards is in the alpha.
Absolutely.
Being the first edition and being like also the first edition of the game. Right. Like the beta neutrals is like an alpha neutral, right? Yep. But like any of these other betas, I was saying months ago, they're overpriced. They're overpriced. Like sometimes it was cheaper to buy a max alpha than to buy a max beta of the same one, because people were just like out of their minds. I don't know. Like I couldn't even explain.
They didn't understand that alphas rank up faster.
Right. That was one thing, is that some of the alphas like don't take as many cards to max out as the betas, and so the per BCX actually made the betas more expensive sometimes, but it shouldn't even have been that close. It was just the markets were dying for more cards. Yeah. And so I took this as an opportunity to get rid of any extra betas I had lingering around, especially anything that I had in singles, and that wasn't maxed out. So my suggestion to you is to to get rid of those betas. You know, I don't think that I could see the beta prices actually coming down. Good night, Pootatang. Thanks for hanging out.
Pootatang, be good. Have a good night.
I could see the
Appreciate it.
I could see the beta prices actually coming down a little bit, just as people realize they're only good for one league, and there's other cards out there that are an earlier edition of them, and there's, you know, other cards that are more versatile and play more spots. So, you know, I don't think they're going to lose a ton of value, but just comparatively, I don't think it's where you want to be.
I still wouldn't be buying them right now.
Yeah.
Even though for some of them, I'm not selling. Like my Lord of Darkness beta, like there's some of them I still think, and I may be wrong, and I may sell them in a month or as we get closer to packs. But
well, the higher demand cards are still going to do okay because they'll still be rented out. But as it goes to only one of the leagues that it can play, I think that's going to, you know, stop a lot of people in their tracks and start to make them think about stuff.
So do you think power's going to be independent by league? So your alpha and beta power for the wild, and then the rest for the
100%, yeah.
Okay.
You two separate leagues, two separate cards to contribute. Now, the modern league is going to be allowed to be played in the wild league, so those will overlap in that direction.
Okay, but then makes sense.
But not the other way, right?